Planting a tree is not only good for the environment, but can also help you conserve energy.
In the winter, it works as a windbreak to help you conserve heating energy. And in the summertime, it can provide shade for cooling.
Megan, let's move this to where we're going to plant it.
All right. Meet Meredith Borchard. Meredith is an arborist and an expert on when and where to plant trees.
Hi, Meredith. We have our tree. Can you tell us about this specific tree?
Sure. Today we're going to be planting a bur oak tree, and will be a large size tree at maturity. Should be very tall and broad, and it should be on the landscape for several decades. This is a long-lived tree, and during its lifetime it'll provide a lot of benefits to this homeowner and to the environment. It should, in time, provide a lot of shade. We're on the east side of this house, so we'll get some morning shade for the home and keep the home a little cooler. In the winter time, we think about trees as kind of helping block some of those cold winter winds, and so it'll help conserve heating energy as well.
A lot of great benefits. So I'm guessing this is a pretty popular tree now?
It is a popular tree, yeah. There are several different species of oaks. We're planting the bur oak.
Now, when we decide to plant a tree, what are the steps we have to take before we actually dig the hole in the ground?
So there's a lot of things this homeowner has already done leading up to this point. They've thought about the available space in their yard and the mature size of this tree. They've thought about the moisture of the soil. We've also thought about the light. Are we in full sun? Are we kind of in a shady area? All of those things will help the homeowner choose the species of tree. And one of the most important things they've done is to call 811. And that's a service that will come and locate underground utilities. So we can see lots of flags here. We can see an OK that's spray painted on the ground, so we know that they've been here and this is an OK place to plant.
All right, so we seem like we're ready to go, so we can get started digging.
Okay. When we think about digging a hole for a tree, we want to think wide, but not too deep.
Is it about a foot deep, Meredith? Or?
Yeah, probably about maybe a foot to 18 inches there.
So Meredith, can we just take the tree and put it in the hole? Is there anything we need to do special here?
I think we'll start by taking off some of this packaging here.
Now, just put the container in, or do we need to cut?
So now we're gonna take the tree out of the container. We can just lay it down carefully, and we'll remove that container. And then there's two really important things that we want to look at related to the roots. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is look for any circling roots, and I do see a few. And it's important before we plant the tree to correct that. And so we're going to make a couple of slices around the tree here.
So you're just kind of gently going through maybe a quarter of the way through the root ball.
Yeah, about a quarter of the way, just kind of severing those roots here in 3 or 4 places. Okay. And then the second thing that we want to do related to the roots, we're going to stand up the tree.
Okay.
And I'm going to look for what's called the root flare. And that's basically where the trunk tissue starts turning into root tissue. And so you see it flare out, and that's where those first main anchor roots are. That's what really holds the tree in place, and that tells us how deep to dig. We want those right at the ground level.
Are we ready to go ahead and
Yeah,
move
let's
it?
go ahead and try it and kind of see how we're doing for depth. All right, so that looks great for depth. So now we're ready to start backfilling, and we're gonna just use the soil that's right here on the site. If we build a little bit of a mound around the outside, that just helps us focus the watering right on the root ball where it needs to be.
Now we have some mulch. Does the mulch go down before we water, or water? And
We'll go ahead and mulch that first,
Okay.
and then water on top of that. There are a couple of ideas with the mulch. The image that we want to have in our heads is a ring or a donut of mulch rather than a volcano. We don't want to stack it up against the trunk where it could cause some rot.
So Meredith, how are we looking here?
Pretty good, I think. Yeah, we've got a nice ring of mulch. That's looking good. We're getting some water and some moisture on there, so I think we're in good shape.
Now, we've got a little bit of wind here, Meredith. Do we need to think about staking this tree?
That's a good question. Many times in urban areas we don't, and it kind of depends on what kind of a tree we planted. We had a nice root ball, good sized root ball on this tree. So generally, if you're not in a real open area, you probably don't need to stake it, but I would kind of keep an eye on this. It is leaning a little bit, and that having some movement in the trunk is a good thing, and that'll make for a stronger trunk.
Now, have we watered this long enough, would you say? Or can
Yeah.
we overwater it the first time?
I think we're getting pretty good on watering, so about 10 gallons is good for that first time that we're watering the tree. And then about once a week is a good frequency. You can overwater a tree if you would water it every single day. That would be too much. Trees generally like to have a good soaking, but then some time to kind of dry out.
Well, this is going to be a wonderful asset.
Meredith,
to
a
this
good-looking
yard.
tree, and again, benefits from this tree for the homeowner for years and decades to come, right?
For many years to come. Yep, this will be a great addition to their house.
Thanks so much. And if you'd like more information about how to save energy by landscaping your yard, go to our website at powerhousetv.com.